Welcome, Jenny Berglund Castro, to our podcast. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Me too. I'm very, very excited. Jenny is based in Sweden. So, this is actually, we had to do this podcast in person, but I'm sure we will be able to do it next time when we're traveling. But so happy to have you here. So, as all the podcasts, let's start through the beginning. How did yoga first appear in your life?
So, I've been trying to think how yoga appeared in my life because I've had this question many times and it's a little bit of a blur, to be honest. But I believe my first yoga class was at a gym when I was like 20, because around that age, like 18, 20, just after college, I was going to a fitness studio and I was doing dance classes and things like that. And I had just moved to New York in 2000 to work in advertising. And I went to a gym there, and I believe that's where I first took a yoga class as like a complement to the high impact,
Oh,
training
wow. And
that I would
in New
do.
York, this is amazing.
Yeah, so I moved to New York in 2000 when I was 25. And I was, New York is a wonderful place and it's super busy and lots of amazing energy, but it's also high pressure, and
A
working in
lot.
advertising and marketing. I was in high-end fashion advertising, and the expectations there were super high on everyone working in that industry. And so I found my way into yoga, and that was the place where I could let go. Like one of the few places I remember where I could just completely let go and relax. So my first emotional, like deep emotional connection, I remember because I was in Shavasana and I was blown away. Like I didn't understand what was going on with me. I loved it so much to be in that space of not being awake, not sleeping, but just complete relaxation. So I had a wonderful teacher there. She was a Russian ballet dancer at heart who had, moved into yoga. And yeah, that was like my first experience in the yoga world.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
God. That is amazing.
Yeah.
How long did you live in New York?
I lived there for 9 years.
Oh my
So
God.
2000 to 2009. And after I got sort of hooked on yoga, I started exploring yoga studios. And I was just blown away by the philosophy, the knowledge, the different types of yoga. There weren't as much as there is today, but I remember being blown away by um, this big, you know, um, knowledge of yoga that I had not heard about before. And growing up in Sweden, it's a very secular country. We're not very religious here. We're hardworking, we're trusted, all these things. So for me, growing up, I just didn't have much of philosophy or a space to really talk about life in another way. So it was when I moved to New York at the age of 25 that I started finding a new sort of path to kind of balance
And
my
actually,
very.
you lived in New York in the years where the yoga just arrived from Asia actually into New York. So there was like a big expansion during the 2000.
Yeah.
On during those years, it's been a big boom. I did my teacher training in New York, by the way, so it's one of my favorite cities in the
Yeah.
world.
No, it's amazing. And I feel like people in New York, they get really into things. Like they are so good at what they do. I know
Yes,
them. That
yes.
it's what a great place.
It's amazing. But
Yeah.
Jenny, the turning point, I love to know these stories when I talk with a yoga teacher because when you went from discovering this passion to making this passion your work?
Yeah, so let's see. I have so I've always had a very strong foot in the, business world, in the productive business world, a very creative world. But I've always also balanced it with yoga and meditation and different healing practices. Otherwise, I don't think I would have survived. I don't think my nervous system would have survived if I had not known how to balance it out. But so in 2016, I was working for a big corporation and they sent me to California. And so in California, there's even more of the spiritual world, I would say. So for some reason, I was sent there and I worked for that corporation there for 1 year. And then I started freelancing. At that point, I basically got a lot of freedom in my schedule because I was looking for work, I was freelancing, so I spent a lot of time in the meditation studio. So that's where I really deepened my practice. I was just sucked into a path of meditation, of Kundalini yoga, of regular yoga, of all kinds of healing practices. It was beautiful. So I wanted to do already there something with this because I wanted to dedicate my time to this amazing path and to teach others and to guide others and hold space. But it takes time. You start freelancing, you start holding classes, you have your own little workshops and things like that. Um, and I started up another space. I started up a co-working space, a place for creatives to sit and work by the hour. And this was during COVID, so it was a little tricky. But moving back to Sweden 3 years ago, I had already had a physical space that I ran, two co-working spaces in Los Angeles. And there we would do some meditation. We had some yoga initiatives, like trying to intertwine that idea of balance into busy creative people's work lives. So that was kind of my first attempt to doing something within that world. And then with COVID and everything, and my mom's passing, we decided to move back to Sweden after 6 years. So I was in LA for 6 years. And when I came here, I wasn't sure what to do with everything. So I started freelancing for a couple of studios here. I rented a space for a few hours here and there to hold my own weekly classes. I rented a room so I could hold my Reiki healing sessions, sound healing sessions. So I was all over the place. And my business mind realized that this is not really working financially because that small fee you get per hour and the preparation and the traveling, you can't live off of that unless you work, 20 hours a day. So I was lucky to run into a person here in Stockholm, and we were in the same position, kind of freelancing, trying to figure out how to dig where we were standing, trying to expand and have our own space maybe. So we started looking for a space together, thinking if we can share the rent, then we can start offering classes and have a couple of treatment rooms for different treatments and things like that. And so once we decided that let's start looking at this, we put it into motion. It happened quite quickly. So we found a small space, which is where I'm sitting now at home in yoga. It's a small shala. We can fit maybe 12 people. And we have
It's
two treatment
beautiful.
rooms.
It's
Yeah, no,
beautiful. I saw
it's
the pictures. It's a really nice
yeah,
space.
it's very like down to earth. We're working a lot with neutral colors and we're trying to create a space where people can come and just like I felt, I guess, in Shavasana, offer that up to people to come in and just be able to do that sigh, to come in and be, and that's what I've noticed people coming in to do here, which is really great, that they just kind of sigh.
My
But
God.
so From January, I actually took over the studio myself because my partner um, was taking on other challenges. And I wasn't sure what I would do if I would do this by myself. Here's the thing, I would never have started up a studio by myself, but the I had the strength to do it when someone else was with me. And now that I had the choice to continue doing it by myself or folding it, I decided, no, let's do this. I know I can do this. So it's been already in this first year, there's been a lot of changes happening. And now I think we are 10 teachers here now
Oh my
for our
God.
weekly schedule, and we have probably 8 of us doing different treatments.
Wow.
So it's great, but it's a wonderful thing to have one space to go to and keep all your things here as opposed to, freelancing around,
Moving.
moving. It's been a lot of traction before this. And it's just great to offer up a community to people because I feel almost everyone I talk to are so stressed out. Either they're not happy in their current position at work or they're going through something. They can't go to the gym anymore because of their nervous system being broken down. And I realize since, we don't go to church here necessarily, we don't have a lot of spaces that offer peace and quiet. Not even at the cafe you go to. There's always something buzzing and this energy, and that's I think what home in yoga is about is some peace and quiet, and to be able to notice your own thoughts, to feel your own body, to notice some emotion, and just kind of learn to sit with things and connect with others. And yeah, so that's where we are today, and it's great.
Wow. What a journey, Jenny. That's incredible. And which type of classes are you giving in home yoga?
Yeah, so we have a bit of a span, and since we are only a year in the running, we don't have any patterns or any, what people like the most and things like that. So I try to work from my heart and from the teachers that we connect with, where they come from and what they want to offer. So we focus a lot on slow flow yoga, like a type of vinyasa, slower pace. We focus a lot on the breath. We do yin yoga, and I do something that I call yin yoga and healing. So I invite also sound healing,
Oh, wow.
Reiki, a lot of pranayama, breath work.
Beautiful.
Yes. But then we also have a few amazing yogis here who do strong flow. Um, we have someone who does medicinal yoga, med yoga, and yeah, we're trying to kind of see what works. I like for home and yoga to be a place for everyone to be able to come, including, seniors, mama baby, uh, pregnancy, and yoga for men. So
Oh,
we try to
wow.
find, because for a lot of people, and you forget this, but people can feel that yoga is something a little strange, and to actually go to a yoga studio is still hard for a lot of people because they have their expectations on what yoga is. You have to be flexible to come here, you have to wear certain clothes and whatnot. And I feel like that is such a shame because yoga is so not about that for me. It is really meant for everyone, no matter where you are. So I've tried to call the classes different things so that people can relate and be like, oh, this is yoga for men. Maybe I can go and try, and it's working, which is really great. And even the 65 plus yoga, we have 86-year-olds coming in. Yeah, and it's just beautiful to see that kind of circle of life. You have the pregnant ladies coming in, and then you have the 86-year-olds, you know. So yoga is really for everyone here.
That's beautiful. And you know, the funniest thing, because now you make me think about something, because yesterday I'm doing now a course in yoga philosophy, because, like you said, to find this space where to reflect is really nice. And they were talking that when yoga started, there were only men practicing. And if you look now, there is only women.
I know. It's
It's
it's what happened
crazy.
in the Western world, right? I think it
Yeah,
was women who mainly adapted to
yeah.
yoga when, yeah, exactly.
I like that you
When
said
yoga
that,
launched.
that you do classes also for men, because that you don't hear that very often. So
No.
I like it.
And I have a funny story. So yesterday, so I do this Thursday mornings at 7:30, and I have this wonderful group of men from the finance world. It was one friend of mine who came and he brought a few friends, and now it's grown. A year later, one person from that group yesterday asked me, Jenny, I think I want to take more classes. And we started looking at the schedule to kind of see what classes he could enjoy. Took a year, but now he's expanding into more
Oh,
classes.
wow, that's beautiful. But you see, that's the beautiful thing. And actually, when you were explaining about the story of opening the studio, that is true. You've got now a home, your home, where you can hold space for all these people. And
Mm,
because you see them every day, even if you don't give the class, you're holding that space for everyone.
mm,
And I think that is something that you should be very proud of. That's why, I love to talk with people that they are studio owners, because at the end, you are taking a big step in the career, and
yeah.
I love that.
Oh,
But
thank
now
you.
that we're talking about this, because, teaching yoga can look very peaceful from outside, and very, oh, what is your career? Oh, I'm a yoga teacher, or I'm a studio owner. That looks really nice. But tell us the truth behind all this, because it must, a yoga teacher is one thing, but a studio owner is another bigger thing.
Yeah.
So how is your daily life? How do you find that balance?
Yeah. It's a very good question. And I think I'm lucky that I come from the business world because I know my numbers, I know my project management, I know how to plan for things, I know how to troubleshoot. Because you know what you're getting into is a world where you want to hold space, and at the same time, you have to keep track of the business because it is an entity, a financial entity, and a practical entity. So my day starts with, so since I can do the schedule myself, but I also have to figure out the whole puzzle, right? When can the other people come in and da, da, da. But so I have two early mornings that I come in because I have children, they're 13 and 16, so I want to see them in the morning, sometimes in the week. But so let's say on a regular day, I get in early and the studio has to be set up. Now, this is a small studio. We don't have a receptionist. I don't have a yoga karmi. It's just me. And so I come in, I put out all the candles, I turn on the radiators, I make the tea, I put the water in the kitchen for the guests, I vacuum, I dust, make sure the toilet paper, all that stuff, everything has to be done. And it's so not glamorous, but it's to care for. It's almost like a baby, you have to care for the space. And I feel like all the details are important without going too crazy. Like if there's a dusting here and there, that's fine. But there's a lot of practical things with the studio. And I'm always checking the schedule because if someone is sick or if there's not enough bookings, things like that, you have to adjust, and we have 4 to 5 classes per day, roughly. So there's always administration happening. So I'm very happy I have that in me from before. But I'm also trying to shift from being too much of that producer into a space holder. So it's really that balance of how much of that can I do, and at what point do I need help with that so I can allow for space in the studio. But and there's a financial concern. Of course, it's not cheap to hold a studio, a physical space in Stockholm, and I don't have the answers there yet. We're still growing. I still see us as a startup phase, just a year into it. And with the change of ownership, me taking over, it's almost like starting anew again. And yeah, that's the day. And then I meet all these amazing teachers, which is really fun because I felt like when I was freelancing around the city, all the interactions were very short. Here, I get to see people and I get to deepen the connections with the teachers, with the therapists, with the yogis that come in. So I love that, like to make more deeper connections. And there's always a workshop to be planned, eventually retreats. I did my first half-day yoga retreat here
Wow,
in the studio last
beautiful.
weekend. So just trying to keep it simple and just offer a space. Um, and uh, and then you work late at night too with classes because people want to come after work. And so 2 nights I work late, and then I have the other teachers the other evenings. But so speaking of yoga life, I am having my old colleagues come in once a month for yoga and breakfast, and they loved it the last time we did it. So now we're going to do it once a month. And there was one person in there who is um, a really sweet woman, but she's a little stressed with work right now. And she said, I can't come. I don't have that yoga life. And I was thinking, yeah, yoga life. I wish yoga life was the way that you see it on Instagram, but I mean, it's a job, but it's a lovely environment. And that's what I prefer being here, having a lot to do right now, than to sit in a conference room with 20 people having to elbow your way. That was never my thing, really. I enjoy working in a big corporation for many reasons too, but something about that energy that I wasn't affected so well by, that competition, very masculine, like that go-getter. That was Now that I'm 51, when I was 25, I could do it, but it never felt really like me to be that person. So I really had to play a role to get my job done. This feels more natural.
Yes, that's one of the things is you said it at the beginning of the interview that people are so stressed, they're so tired. But if we look around us, there is a very heavy energy.
Mm.
And I think it's our duty as the yoga teachers to help these people to find those spaces. So I'm very happy that you said that because it's true. I mean, finding your purpose and making it your profession, it's actually a big risk, but also a very brave gesture.
Yeah, I'm very happy, and I'm so grateful for you saying that because we forget because we're in our own little bubbles and we're doing it, and we sometimes forget to kind of get that perspective. But it's true, and I feel like, and there it's everyone too. Even 25-year-olds come in and they need a place to just rest, and it's usually like, oh, my mom said I should come here, or even guys who come here open up and they say that they've been burnt out, or going through a change in life, separation. And I can so relate to that because where do you go? You go to talk to a therapist, yes, but that's 1 hour a week. Like, Yeah, I'm happy
That
that the yoga world is growing, that we have more spaces like this. I just hope that more people will also find their way in.
Well, that's actually that brings me to a question that I always like to do, and is like, what would you say to the people that they are listening about misconceptions in yoga? Because yoga, you come from the business world, it
Mm.
doesn't have a very good marketing. We are terrible at marketing yoga,
Yeah.
and most of the teachers struggle a lot on bringing this to people. What would you say to the listeners about how to encourage them to start with the yoga path?
Well, first of all, and I think this is maybe the most common misconception is I have to be flexible to do yoga. Everyone says that who comes in, who's trying this for the first time. I'm not flexible. And it's interesting because yoga's main goal is to still the mind. Um, and with our asana, with our breath, with our meditation focus, our yamas, niyamas, all these different things, beautiful, beautiful path. A hard path, it's not easy. But still, it's the physical practice that people connect yoga to. So, and I think it's because that's what's visible, right? That's what people saw in pictures. You saw these poses and people who can bend a lot. And I think that's the main thing. And I really, really try to remind people that you are where you are today. You're in your body. You come in with your set of history, your body, your physical uh, everything. So I try to be very open and clear about you're here as you are. Like it doesn't matter. You come here and you become more flexible, but mainly flexible to the mind. So what we do on the mat prepares us for the life outside of the mat. I would be happy sitting on my mat all the time, but that's not how it works. We have to leave the mat too. But I think that's the beauty and a very good reminder that what we do on the mat is to prepare us for the world outside of the mat when we're faced with a challenge or a surprise or a fall, even on the street. Like if you fall on the street and you do yoga, your body is probably going to have a better way of not hurting itself. Same if you get challenged by your boss. Maybe your nervous system doesn't kick in as quickly as it used to because you've learned the importance of your breath. Um, so that is the one thing I feel people come in with that thought of their body not being good enough. And it's
Yeah,
it's it's such a shame because I mean once you come in to say that you've come far, but then imagine all these people who are not coming in
yeah,
because of that
yeah.
misconception.
It's a really nice one. I like to talk about that because, also I think another one that people get stopped is what you were talking at the beginning about the spiritual side of it. That a lot of
Mm.
people doesn't like to find that inner work, they don't
Yeah.
like to look inside, and that pulls them away.
Yeah, and I mean, I have always so I had a mother who was a bit of a s- closet spiritual. Like she was always like into things, but she never lived it fully out. But she would hug trees and she would go to acupressure and she would do different things. Um, but for me, energy and healing has always been quite natural when you can walk into a room and you feel energies or you kind of know what's going to happen. Like I've always had a pretty strong intuition and I've listened to it. I've been very open to it. So that's another thing with yoga is like people thinking that it's like a religion. It's not a religion, and yoga is very much for me about energy work, about the
Exactly.
different chakras, about how we move our energy, how we can listen in to see where we feel stuck, how we can support each other to hold space, to work with different mantras, different sounds, different asanas. and how we can really use this ancient wisdom in our
Totally. Totally.
modern 2026 world. You know, it's I'm getting goosebumps because it's all that wisdom that exists for us, and that we can use it. It's just using words that people can connect with, I think. Because it's a whole different, it's a language. Like we use a lot of Sanskrit, right, when we do yoga. And that alone can be a little hard for people to connect with in the beginning. I personally love it. I think words hold a lot of magic. Mantra
That's
holds a lot of magic. Um, but yeah.
beautiful, Jenny. Beautiful. I am enjoying a lot this conversation. So let's go to something that I always also like to talk about when I talk with a yoga teacher, that I'm sure that you have gone through very tough moments in life. And I'm sure that also yoga has carried you through those moments. Can you tell us how, or can you tell us any story you would like to share with us where yoga became your space holder?
You know what? I think I'm sort of in it right now. I have used yoga and meditation for a long time, but right now, at this age and at this time in life, I feel like there is so many changes happening. So I'm 51. I have children who are getting bigger, who don't need me as much. I have parents who, my mother has passed away and my father is getting older. You know, I've been married for a long time and the relationship is changing, you know, like all these things, starting up my own business late in life this way, um, all the political things happening in the world, all the heavy energy, all the unbelievable things happening around us. I feel like yoga is my life now, having this studio and this offering and this exposure to people. And I feel like it's really helping me uh, to stay more present. I have a very busy mind. I've always have it, had a very busy mind. Lots of troubleshooting ahead of time, trying to prepare myself. And I have so many techniques that I can use to just sit with it and to realize that thoughts are just energy. It's just energy. It's not even real, the stuff I can worry about. So I have the tools. So I feel like yoga is really helping me right now in life at this kind of middle section of life. Hopefully, I get a long life,
Mm.
but it's still not easy. It's a practice, and I think that's super important for everyone who listens, even teachers. That just because you work with yoga as a teacher, you're still working, you're still practicing every day because you catch that mind and you're like, oh, and then you just kind of have to center and you have to breathe and you have to remember. And I feel like that saying that, you know, always a student kind of philosophy, that's how I feel. I'm by no way done already or there. I have so far to go still. But I do feel like to have these tools that exist within yoga philosophy is amazing. And I feel like it just keeps on expanding. I've done a lot of pranayama lately with my teacher here in Stockholm, Viveka. And meditation through David G in California has been very important for me, like the inner work for me. I love still moving in asana practice, but that was not my first way in as a teacher. My first way in was in meditation. And so I really come from the inner work to start, and that's where I still sort of enjoy myself the most when I
Yes.
sit. when
I
I
like it.
sit with myself. Yeah.
But well, I always remind this to everybody that at the end, asana means to sit, you know? So
Yes.
a lot of people keep thinking about movement and postures. And I always say, forget that. Asana is to be able to sit with it, you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
So I'm very happy you said that because it's a good reminder for listeners, you know, to because sometimes we always keep looking outside for a solution
Hmm.
for this better exercise or this better workout that is going to help us feel better when the answer is inside,
It
you
is.
know.
Yes. And it's hard, you know, it's hard to find the time to just sit and listen or go for a walk wherever you can find some peace and quiet. And then to allow yourself there for some time and
Yeah,
then really dare to listen. You know, it's a
incredible.
lot of work.
I like it. I like it. But Jenny, I love talking about yoga with you, but I love also to know who is Jenny. Tell us a little bit who is Jenny when he's not in the studio, when he's not in the mat, when he's not practicing yoga? What would you like to, what we enjoy doing in life too?
Yeah. Oh, I love doing so many things. I am a very busy and ambitious person. I don't know for those of you who know about human design, but I am a manifester. So I tend to initiate a lot of projects and I love to do new things. But so, what I love doing on a day-to-day basis is being with my family. My children are amazing, teenagers now, you know, keeping up with them. I love to travel. It's been a little tricky now having a physical studio to travel, but I love having a travel planned. And I'm actually going to Ghana for some volunteer work at the end of June for the first time in my life. I've
Oh, you're
always
gonna
wanted to
love it.
go abroad to do some volunteer work. So I'm going to work at an orphanage for 2 weeks in 3 hours outside of Accra in Ghana this year. So I'm super excited about that.
Wow,
Yeah. And I see friends. I love music and the arts. I love concerts. I love going to theaters, going out to dinner or spending time with friends, having dinner at their places. Um, I'm very, I'm very simple like that, I would say. I like to be around people and
mm,
enjoy a good conversation and some good foods. I think that, you know, life happens so quickly. Life
totally.
just passes so quickly. When I talk about, because I don't talk about myself so often, so thinking about, you know, being in New York back in 2000, that's 26 years ago. You know,
Crazy,
it's
crazy.
amazing how things unfold. And I'm just so grateful for everything I get to experience and meet people like you.
That's great.
Yay!
I love it. I love it. And looking ahead, Jenny, because this is also nice to do. You just look back now, but looking ahead,
Mm.
if yoga could take you anywhere next, in your teaching or in your personal life, where would you love it to go? How do you see your future?
Yeah, I mean, I see expansion. I see more people finding their way in. And the way I see these people are new people, meaning people who have not experienced yoga before. Like, I would love to be able to invite more people into yoga. Because I know how it's helping so many people. Even after 3 classes with one of my senior yogas, she said she could do things that she hasn't been able to do for years after 3 classes. Now, and this is what I mean about the power of yoga. It's just if you find your way in here, you can feel so much better on physical, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. But so I feel expansion. I would love to be more available, to hold space for more people, to make a change. I play with the expression to leave a positive footprint. Like my dream is to really work with things that can leave positive footprints for people. Because we're on this earth together, right? We sit on this planet in the universe. And what do we do with our time? How do we affect each other? So I would love for yoga to be a path for me where I can offer more to the world in my way, however that is. And I've always been doing, small things here and there, even outside of yoga, to kind of help where I can. But I would love for my life to be about that now, to hold space and to guide and to open up for people.
I'm sure you're going to do it. I mean, you are in the right path. And I've not been in your studio, but I get really nice vibes from it. And
Oh,
that's one of the reasons I contacted you because I follow a lot of different teachers. And it was something about your studio that just called me.
mm,
And is this, you said it right. And to me, it's our responsibility as yoga teachers not just to teach the asana, but also what is behind it and how to reach everything in us. So I'm very happy that I've been talking to you. And at the end, I'm not going to let you go yet, but would you like to share anything with the listeners? Is anything you wanted to say? This is your time, this is your space. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I would like to say that I am so happy to be part of this community of being a yoga teacher. It almost sometimes still feels a little strange to say it because I still have a picture of what a yoga teacher is, and that's not me, to be honest. But also to for all the teachers out there to keep going, find your own voice, your own way, follow your heart, and really listen to the body. I think it's important. I've learned that to listen to the body because the intuition, for me at least, sits in my body. I can feel if something feels right, and I can feel if something feels wrong. And if we can be guided by that, if we sort of dare to be guided by that, I think a lot of magic can open up. And also to think outside of yoga, if you feel like you have a constrained, throat chakra, which I have had and still have, you can do other things. I started singing in a gospel choir here in Stockholm,
Wow.
for
Oh,
example,
wow.
and it's really helped me open up to to talk more in front of people, to to chant, to do mantras. Like I feel like we can find things even outside of yoga to help us in yoga, in a sense. But really to keep going, to do the work. And I am supported by knowing that other people are doing this out there. So I'm happy to be part of that teaching community.
This is incredible. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Jenny. But I'm not going to let you go. I always like to close the interviews with quick and fun questions
Yes,
about you so we know a little bit more about you. So here we go. Morning bird or night owl?
morning for sure.
Good. iOS or Android?
iOS.
Okay. A book or a series that you're loving right now?
I am loving The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, all-time
Oh,
favorite.
oh, wow. That's a nice one. I'm going to take note of that one.
Mhm.
You go to comfort food.
Always pasta and sandwiches.
Oh, I love it too. I love my
Mm.
carbs. I love the carbs. I think in another life I was Italian because
Oh,
the
me
pasta
too.
and the pizza, I mean, they have to be there always in my life.
I know. Love it.
A place that feels like home besides home.
Well, home in yoga.
I
No,
love
but you
that.
know what? You know what I would say is my own laughter. When I
Mm,
laugh,
that's
I feel
beautiful.
like I'm at home.
That's
When
beautiful.
I
I like that.
manifest, when I work on intentions in classes a lot, laughter is what comes up for me. I want more laughter. I want more laughter.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Okay, something people would be surprised to know about you.
Um, well, I think maybe about the gospel
I,
choir.
I was just gonna say because when you said it, I was like,
Yeah,
oh, gospel. I never said that.
yeah. It's very funny. We go once a week and we sing gospel at Stockholm Gospel Choir, a beautiful choir, 500
Oh
people,
my
does
God.
magic for your throat chakra.
Oh my God, that's incredible. Well, next time I'm there, I'm sure I'm gonna come and see you there.
Yes, yes. We have a concert also every semester, so it's
Oh,
beautiful.
beautiful, beautiful. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for your time, for this space. I really enjoyed this interview. I
Oh, thank
love, as you
you.
said, I love making these connections because I think it's beautiful that we can, have people and share experiences and life, because at the end, you are an inspiration for many people. So they're going to be able to listen to you and maybe visit you in Stockholm.
Oh, that would be lovely. And thank you for all the work that you're doing and for keeping this space for all of us. It's amazing. You are yourself a big inspiration.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jenny, and see you very soon. Next time, I'll come to Stockholm to record the studio.
Yes, you're so welcome.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.